I was like, no, like the lighting was still like ass because it was just the blue light screen lighting my face, and then it was just this backlight lighting my back. But that doesn't matter for the viewers because they can't see that. So I have to get it from the side here by
Yeah.
being at my bed. I hope this like looks good. I think I don't know.
I think it looks perfect. I think both of our lightings are now like great. We can both see our own faces. You know, the camera can catch us, so that's gonna be great.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how has your week been, man?
It has been it's been a cluster. It's been very like confusing. Not
Yeah.
confusing. It's just been like work has been confusing. So we've been like work's just been very stressful. We like switched to a new system recently, and that's been fine. It's just like been adjusting to it and all the little tweaks and issues we've had with it the first week, and then the continuing like, oh, are we figuring out the workflows yet? And like
Yeah.
things keep changing, and I was getting like information from several different places, several different people, and like it wasn't helping because my boss still was like, "Hey, this needs to be done correctly," and I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing." So like, and we've been trying to coordinate about sitting down and doing it, and finally we got to do it today, on top of like all the other meetings I've had to do today and all the other things I've had to do. It's just been very busy.
Yeah.
It's been cool. Like I like the times when I get to see my clients. I kind of like feel like I get to forget about the rest of the world and just focus on them and sit with them and be present, and like that's really like valuable. So like I'm trying to always focus on that part of it. Always trying to frame it that way. It's really hard. But I like my job. It's just really hard. And then like I can't talk too much about it, but we're like in negotiation stuff like union and negotiating salary increases
Yeah.
and right yesterday was like yeah, today's Thursday. So yesterday was like the big beginner one, and of course, like we're gonna be on opposite ends. Like the management's gonna offer us one thing. We're gonna counter offer with something on the opposite end of that spectrum, and it's and so we're hoping to meet in the middle. So like that's the point. It's compromise or like somewhere near the middle.
Yeah.
We'll see. So anyway, so like just a lot of things going on at work and like a lot of chaos on the back end, but the clients at least are doing actually they're doing a lot. Some of the ones I've been concerned about are doing a lot better, so like that's progress. So anyway,
Yeah.
um, yeah, weeks just been crazy with work, but outside of that, so like last weekend was really cool. So let's see, last I talked to you was what, Thursday?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to just move these to Thursdays? That might just be easier for the both of us.
I think so. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do this on Thursdays then, and then new uploads possibly Friday, maybe Saturday, depending on when I get to actually uploading. You know.
Yeah, I hear that, viewers.
Yeah, because I
So
am editor in all this, so
he is the co-host and editor. Anyway, so and we love him. We appreciate him. Can we get a dub in chat for Eric? No, what's it? So I talked to you. So Friday night, I just hung out with my lady. We had some pizza and some wine, and we watched. Oh, was it? It was Curse of the Were Rabbit. No, that was the other night. We watched that last night. On Friday we watched. Man, it's hard to remember. We were watching a movie. It'll come to me.
yeah,
Yeah, and then Saturday was cool because I went to a rock show and we were out in Petaluma. I was like, so for those at home, it's like an hour and a half drive from where I'm at, and that's cool. And it's up to 2 hours with like a certain amount of traffic. So I drove up to Petaluma to downtown there to go to this place called the Phoenix Theater. My friends are playing a show. I've got their new merch. This is Straight Jackets.
yo, that's fucking sick.
Um, Goes pretty hard. I wore this to work today. Trying to show off a little bit. It says Straight Jacket on the back, but you wouldn't be able to see that because I got the flannel on.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, so that was cool. So we went up there. We were hanging out. There were like quite a few bands playing. It was Emergency Broadcast System, which they're like this punk metal kind of vibe, and they're really good. They're really dope. They just got a new guitarist who was a previous guitarist in another band, and he's always really good. And then it was Van Gogh's Ear up next, and so it's spelled Vangozer, but it's a play on a Van Gogh's ear. So they just like did that, I guess. And they're like a metal band, and they're sweet. They're cool. They got a great sound. They got sick instrumentals. All their players are fantastic. Moms with Bangs was on the bill. That
Fucking
was
love
really
that name,
cool.
Moms with Bangs. Jesus.
It's a great band name. So I missed their set because I was out back talking to the singer of another band. There were so many people out that night. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I love the local scene. So we were we were chatting, hanging out. So then my boys played, and so that was a sweet set. It was their single release show since they just dropped a new single, and it was amazing because like everyone in the crowd was singing their song because like they had been streaming it and shit, which is like really cool to see and to hear. And then so afterwards we're hanging out with like two bassists of other bands that we know. Again, a lot of the people who come out to these shows are fellow musicians, are the fellow bands who play alongside these bands, which is like cool. And we always love to see that support, and I love hanging out with them. They're all super sick guys. The band that came out that night, one of them was Rap Bastard Radio. They're like a cool like doom metal kind of sound, or like just regular metal. Um, their EP is sick. The Living Room Special, check it out.
Well, it depends on like the kind of sound. Like doom metal, like usually has like a heavier tone lyrics and then like a very sludgy, like slowed kind of sound.
Yeah, but still packing that heavy metal sound. And
Yeah.
so I think like a couple of their track Dirty Bowl can be categorized as doom metal.
Okay.
Uh, but their EP is just kind of straight metal,
Kind of like
maybe
old
also
days of like Metallica or like Black Sabbath.
kind of sounds like Metallica. Yeah, Black
Okay.
Sabbath would be more of the doom metal variety, or like Cryus would be another one. Anyway, so
Fair point. Fair point.
our Uncle S and the Deadbeats is a good example. They're very doom.
Oh yeah. I
That's
consider them psychedelic metal, if anything, because they do have the lower octaves that fit in the genre of metal, but it's because of how they play the guitar for most of their songs. It feels more akin to like '60s kind of like psychedelic rock and roll.
yeah, doom metal and psychedelic metal I think are interchangeable, at least from my perspective, at least the way I've seen it
Yeah.
carried. So I was kind of including them in both of those categories. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They are psych metal. So anyway, so I caught them that night. We're all hanging out. They let us crash at their pad up there. Shout out to them. It was very cool. I slept on a couch in a freezing cold garage, and
Dude, you get to live like a fucking rock star, bro.
it's sweet. It was it was great. We were like drinking, we were having a good time. And then the next morning, we got up super early. We all got Taco Bell breakfast, and
Hell
we ate
yeah.
that real quick at the house. And then we drove. I had to drive 2 hours back, come home, call the folks, or well, first shower, then call the folks, and then I had to go meet up with the boys again at one of our friends' parties. It's like it's Jack's sister, so it's like Jack's sister Haley. It was her birthday. I feel like I explained this very poorly. So we went to her birthday party. We're hanging out with her and like a bunch of her friends, which they're always fun to see. We were playing a few drinking games. That was fun. For as long as as long as I participated. I mean,
Yeah.
it was definitely intense the first round.
Sound like
But
you're
then
almost recovering from it. Like,
no, not still. No, I stepped out and smoked. So
oh, nice.
so then Monday I went to go see Thundercat. So Thundercat is like this psych funk bass player, and his band was sick. His drummer was awesome. The guy on keys was sick. The opener, I didn't really quite catch their name, but they were like EDM kind of thing, and they were all grooving, but like it was cool and all. I don't know if I like electronic dance music, listening to it in a certain mood, but I don't think I'd like to see it live outside of like a rave. It's like I don't think it's very effective. Um, it's not as it's just not very fun to watch because they're just like it's pre-programmed, music. They just dance on stage. Wasn't really jiving with it that much. So me and my boy were hanging out outside in the lobby. We were having a beer. I had a few beers that night, and then let's see, Tuesday. Tuesday was a more chill night, so I had dinner with my girl and her parents, and then we watched Poltergeist for the first time. I'd never seen it, so that was sick. Um, that was Yeah, that was really chill. That was really fun. It's very campy, but there is some horror. It is pretty scary. It holds up.
I mean, as far as like supernatural films go, like the practical effects were really well done.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really.
Especially the bathroom scene. You know the one where like the guy
Well,
starts
yeah, where
like,
he's like ripping his face off. Like I remember
yeah,
that scene. That was like really well done. I think they really like. I was freaked out, and that was made like 40 years ago with prosthetics. So it's like,
yeah,
good job to the filmmakers.
yeah,
Steven Spielberg did a lot for that movie. He like wrote it or storyboarded it or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
That was crazy. I think he produced it. I don't remember. Um, that's really cool. So anyway, I was like, saw his name. I was like, whoa, that's a cool project to be on.
Yeah.
So, as if like his other projects aren't cool. I'm not saying that. Um, I'm still trying to think what we watched on Friday. We were here. We had the pizza and the wine, and we put on something. I know we put on Attack on Titan after. I just don't remember the movie.
Was it like an action film? Was it a comedy, horror, suspense?
I think it was like Animated Man.
It was animated. Okay. Jesus.
Maybe it was scary because it was. Well, no, October 1st hadn't rolled around until Sunday, so I don't know. Anyway, you know what? I'm not gonna not gonna let it bug me. So,
Dude, you're gonna remember it as soon as we finish this recording. I swear to God, that's just gonna be how it goes.
or just before we finish it. That's probably
Yeah, probably.
So, so Tuesday we chilled. We watched Poltergeist. Wednesday, Wednesday I thought I was gonna have vinyl night, and then my boy was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it," and then like my girl couldn't make it because she was like working late. So I was like, "Oh, oh well, I'm just gonna go home then," and like, you know, um, just hang out, wait for her to get off of work. We did, and then she came over. She brought me dinner, and then I went to go get smoothies. She hung out up here, waiting for me to do that, and then yeah. So that's been my week so far. So far so good. Tonight I'm going up to Belmont to meet up with some friends at a bar, just for a drink.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. What's your week been like, man? What have you been up to since we last spoke?
My week's been pretty chill. I mean, I've been doing like just work and then like some chores at home mostly. Dusting my room, cleaning up after other people in the house and whatnot. So that was kind of nice. I mean, it's always nice to like maintain a good household. We've been cleaning out a lot of shit from the garage and whatnot, and just doing little pet projects and whatnot.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
Even for my small studio, I've got hella shit in here, and I want to like work through clearing out maybe some of it later. I mean, some of it I really don't need. But anyhow, continue.
And then I kind of watched part of a documentary with our folks about the Irish Civil War, also known as the Troubles. Such a fucking mundane name for something that was so horrific and violent for like 30, 40 years.
It's really an understatement
Yeah.
It really underserves to describe kind of what was going on, because they were troubles, but they weren't like not the kind of troubles your nan was having. It's like not the small stuff. This is like people like
there was
killing
literally
each other and killing your neighbors and shit.
there was literal fucking death squads that would like go into your fucking house and take people they thought were like Protestant and then just fucking execute them at a secure location.
Yeah, it's like insane. It's pretty.
Yeah, there was this group they called like the Disappeared, where it's like 16, 17 victims like that were just taken from their homes, executed at a secure location, and then just like buried in random spots. And like they were called the Disappeared because they were gone for so long and no one knew where they were buried until like literally like recently, like in 2015, I think. Yeah, they revealed the locations. Yeah,
that's horrendous. I mean, those are just people that just like
you
assume died, but you don't know where the body was.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It's real horrific, man. That's a really bad Civil War.
On another thing that we've been watching that's somehow a little bit more upbeat, we recently watched Layered Cake.
Oh, there you go. That's the British gangster movie with Daniel Craig, right?
Exactly, Layer Cake.
Craig.
I did not know this, but not only was the movie directed by Matthew Vaughn, that was his directorial debut. And he went on to go...
Cake, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's a hell of a film to start your directorial like career with. Like, that's amazing.
That's awesome, dude. Good for him. Congrats, man. Congrats,
Yeah,
Boyle.
because of that, he went to go on and do one of my favorite X-Men films of all time, X-Men First Class.
Oh, he directed that shit?
Yeah, dude.
That shit is gas, dude. That's a good movie.
It was a film that reignited my love for the X-Men after, like, 3 didn't really do it for me. And then I think X-Men Origins Wolverine came shortly before X-Men First Class. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild, because, like, you
Yeah.
had, like, X-Men 1, which was gas, X-Men 2, which was amazing, and then you had, like, X-Men 3, and you were like, oh. Then you
Yeah.
had X-Men Origins Wolverine, and you were like, oh. And then, like, now you get First Class, and you're like, oh. You know, it's like,
Here we go.
the tone keeps shifting. It's,
Yeah.
yeah. It's, I think the one good thing about X-Men: The Last Stand was the Raven saga. That was like kind of like the
Yeah.
most emotionally bearing for me, at least. I thought. Anyway,
Yeah.
but that's sick, dude. So that's always a fun movie to watch. I haven't seen that I think since my first time viewing it. That's cool.
Yeah. Also, I think another thing in X-Men Last Stand is, like, they had the perfect casting choice for, like, Juggernaut, and they wasted it by making a dog shit film.
Yeah.
Fucking Vinnie Jones as Juggernaut. I'm like, dude, that is fucking perfect. Like, god damn it.
Yep. It was amazing.
Ugh, God. Nah,
Could have been amazing.
Nah, if I want to see, like, a good film with him in it, I'd rather just go watch Snatch again, because that's a great fucking movie.
Snatch is a classic, dude. That one's
Yeah.
just got so many ins and outs and what have yous. That's Guy Ritchie, right?
That is Guy Ritchie, and that is the ultimate British gangster film. Layer Cake is great, and Daniel Craig is great in it, but Brad Pitt in the movie Snatch, like, that is his best fucking role ever.
And Jason Statham, bro, he's like really good in it too. And
Yeah, because he's funny, he's, like, dead serious. He doesn't, like, have this typical action hero persona like he has had in all of his other films. Like, if anything, when the violence actually happens, he's actually the last person that's going to do anything to get himself out of the situation.
yeah, which is really like helps with the comedic punch.
Exactly, yeah, which is great. I love it. I kind of want to see him in more comedy films because I think he can actually do really well in a good comedy.
Well, like a very just fun movie, and I actually really want to watch it again at some point. I'm just trying to find the opportunity in my busy social life. Maybe this Saturday is like Hobbs and Shaw, dude. That's like a really good like it's the Fast and Furious spinoff. So I take it for what it is, but like also like Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson are just riffing each other in the whole movie, and it's hilarious. And like they're like roasting each other too. It's like it's so fucking funny.
Yeah, and I would count that as like his comedy film debut, but like it's so action packed though, so it's not technically like a comedy. You know what I mean?
It's just like an action movie with comedy in it, like Marvel movies are.
Exactly. Oh God, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but yeah, though, you really loved Hobbs and Shaw. Like, damn.
It was a good movie, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I just had fun with it. It's got Idris Elba. It's got that one blonde girl. I don't know her name. I've just seen her in like one more movie. Maybe Mission Impossible. I've seen her. Yeah.
Yeah, Vanessa something. I think it was something silly. Like,
Oh, okay.
not literally silly, but like, like it's something ridiculous.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's movies in theaters I want to watch. I haven't been to the theaters in so long, dude. I don't even think I went all last month, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I'm still
which
sitting
makes
on a
me feel
free
like
ticket right now, so I'm deciding what to use that free ticket on.
Yeah, and like right now, it's like we're waiting to see this horror movie called It Lives Inside,
Oh, okay.
which comes out soon, I think. There's also like
Oh, there's the Exorcist movie?
that I heard was awful. That
Oh,
I heard
really?
was really bad. It had like really awful reviews. It has like the lowest Rotten Tomato score of the series, next to like I think the second one and the third one. I don't know.
I think I've heard fans say that the second one is good, but 3 is not that great. Or it's the other way around. It's one of those two. Yeah.
Maybe it's because I think 2 is on that list. It's got to be 3. So then the other one I was thinking of isn't the third one. It's got to be a different movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single movie of the Exorcist series. I do need to watch the original. Like that's obviously.
Because you don't need to see it as like a horror film, because I watched it thinking that it's basically social commentary on the 1970s and what that time was like, really.
Okay.
Let me explain. Because the main character, Chris, she is a Democratic actress in the 70s So very much like a progressive kind of like lifestyle and whatnot. Very much breaks the mold from like traditionalist values and whatnot. And she instills that in every aspect of her life, from her work to her daughter to everything. And when her daughter is possessed by a demon, she goes to the immediate answers that she thinks is going to help her, which is medical science and psychology. When those fail her completely, she has to resort to using like faith, essentially. And that's where the priest character comes in, who is battling his inner faith with like, you know, his loss of faith, dealing with his like dying mother from like a terrible like, you know, brain degenerative disease.
Oh, Jesus.
And while at the same time he does believe in science, because he, you know, he knows that like it's been treating her pretty well up until this point, that he hopes that there's definitely like a way to revert this, but he knows there's not. Like he's dealing with his faith and like, you know, when she passes, is she going to be truly at peace and whatnot?
Mm-hmm. Damn, bro.
Yeah. Because he started off as a priest and then went into medical science. And then with this whole possession thing going on now, it brings those feelings to light, especially since the demon can sense, you know, inner turmoil in other people and uses that against him during the exorcism. And yeah, it's a very complex film. It's very, very layered in terms of like commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was unaware. I mean, again, I've never seen the movie, so I didn't know. So is it like saying like you need both faith and medical science?
You need a way to find balance between the two, because the movie ends with like you know, everything good and all that. The demon's gone. The little girl is safe. Reagan, I think her name is. And there's like a little thing at the end where she has like an interaction with another priest, and it's kind of a way to symbolize that, you know, she's eventually going to find balance between like the two, and like, you know, live a life of like faith and knowing that there is like good in the world and whatnot. There is a God, but also like, you know, live realistically in the real world too. Believe in, you know, changing times and whatnot, science and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll have to check. I guess I didn't know it was social commentary. But I mean, I guess that's like the component of like a lot of horror movies, like a lot of 50s horror movies were like about the Red Scare and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of sci-fi. Like, I think, you know, I was reading a list of like the top sci-fi movies of all time, like top 25, whatever the hell, right? Whatever number you want to attach. And like the Day the Earth Stood Still is one of the best because it's like it's the original. It's best ranked because of like its commentary on like humanity and like the Cold War and stuff. It's like, cut this shit out, just get along.
No, totally. Sorry, I muted myself to like blow my nose. I didn't want to interrupt your conversation.
No, I appreciate that, and then also I don't know if me or the viewers would have appreciated hearing you blow your nose.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, no, they want to hear your smart, intelligent commentary on The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, I think like the best films. I mean, like,
well, even Invasion of the Body Snatchers too has like some interesting commentary. The film itself is based on like a book that was written in 1953, I want to say, of the same name, and then that was adapted into a 1954 film, which deals heavily in like the Red Scare and whatnot.
Wasn't it the 1954 film was like called The Searchers or something?
I think
it was it called Invasion of the Body Snatchers? It might have. Maybe it was.
I think it was called Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I think you're thinking of like the John Wayne movie, The Searchers.
Maybe I am. Maybe
yeah. Yeah, that one dealt in like the Red Scare and whatnot. And it was pretty fucking obvious with how they, you know, pivoted the film. But the 1978 version, I think, is more significant because it deals in the genuine horror of like conformity, essentially. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like psychological horror. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which it does play on that. It holds up, man. It was a pretty freaky movie. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then the twist at the end, I was like, oh, that shit, it's crazy.
I know.
I love how they led up to that. Like, it's been spoiled 1,000 times, but I was like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, everyone knows the ending like The Sixth Sense, man. Like, it's just one of those endings.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the 70s was like a hot time for like any horror film or like sci-fi film. Or even like crime noir films, because they all have like something to say about society at the time. Because the 70s was a weird fucking time, man. Like,
Yeah, the 70s was weird for psychology. There were a lot of like peak experiments going on.
Yeah.
There were some weird ones in the 50s. But yeah, man, it's
That was also like the, I guess you could say, golden age of serial killers, apparently.
well, the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it all began with like the end of the 60s. It was like 69, the Manson murders happened, right? And that like kicked off a whole era of serial killers, of like new horrors and stuff. It's really interesting, man.
Yeah.
It's that's real. Yeah, that's a real weird thing to think about. I didn't really.
Well, I would
Yeah.
actually blame it on the end of World War II, because think about it. A lot of these famous serial killers are born right around like the late 40s.
Hmm.
So post World War II, traumatized soldiers come home. They feel like they've done a sense of great duty, but obviously they got fucking shell shock and shit.
Hmm.
So not exactly happy childhoods growing up for a lot of them, and unfortunately just brings out like the worst in them, and it just makes them into monsters. By the
Mm.
time they start killing, it's like the 70s, so they're like around the ripe age to start doing that and thinking they can get away with it.
Yeah, so it's like well, yeah, so it is some component of like trauma and stuff.
Yeah,
That's yeah, that makes sense because like the probably the trauma-ridden soldier dads coming home
yeah,
who like don't know how to process their shit. They take it out on ways in other people,
yeah.
and yeah,
And by the
it's
time they're like 5 or 6 years old, it's like the mid 50s, and like typically, if you're living in a suburb and whatnot, like a newly developed suburb, there's a good chance dad is going to work and mommy is taking drugs to deal with like housewife duties. So
yeah, exactly. She's
obviously,
like
there's
a
no
mother's
love.
little
They're just
helper.
like there's just drugs and shit, and
Drugs and domestic violence, like it's
yeah,
um, it's that is crazy to think about it. You pull the curtain, but from it because like the 50s, the imagery that's from the 50s looks so happy and go lucky.
yeah.
But like a lot of the home life was probably fucked up.
Yeah, a lot of like the vibrant imagery and like lifestyle is just from like the commercialism aspect of it, because it was
Yeah.
a great economic boom at that time, because post World War there's nothing to fight about, or at least until like the Korean War, but that's another story.
All the GIs are getting like houses on like with high school diplomas and getting great salaries to be able to afford those houses.
Exactly. Now you're like, you get fucked royally when you join the army nowadays. So yeah, like you
Yeah,
gotta use
exactly.
fucking
Yeah,
charities like more Wounded Warriors Project just to get anything.
yeah, because the VA ain't gonna do shit. Yeah, that's Anyway, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's I didn't think about that component because I mean it is important to think about. Yeah, it is
yeah.
important to recognize. Um, it's an interesting trend. I also one of the wow, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, we were
Yeah.
on great sci-fi. So like yeah, so great sci-fi like creates it really it's all speculative fiction has something to say about like society and stuff and has comments and shit about how we're doing things and that's what makes great sci-fi is when it's relatable and like great fantasy as well and like I think like a movie a good example that does that badly like does that poorly I should say well just straight up yeah just straight up not well um, is Bright that
Yeah.
Netflix movie the David Ayer one where like Will Smith and some ogre or cop and stuff and like they're supposed to be like it's supposed to be a race thing and like that's I don't know if that's like the right person to tell it. I think Zootopia did a better job of like race
Yeah.
relations in a certain capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, it surprises me. It's like I had high expectations for Bright, because I looked at the trailer and I thought, oh man, this is like a stacked fucking like cast. It's got an interesting story. Like it looks like the
the
special effects are
setting,
gonna be crazy.
yeah,
Like
the setting was cool, and the world building could have been a lot better.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, it was just not. That movie sucked. It sucked.
yeah, yeah. No, and then
It missed the
fucking
mark, man.
like Zootopia came out like shortly before that or shortly after, right?
It was shortly before because Bright was like 20. Bright was like 2017. It was the height of all of this all these protests and stuff. That was the whole thing about it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a fucking Disney movie that no one was expecting, and everyone was probably not gonna watch because they knew the fucking furries would line up first. So that I'm sorry, that's just unfortunately true.
Yeah.
However, it turned out to be actually a pretty wonderful animated film that managed to deal with that kind of subject matter quite well, actually.
I think so, dude.
And have one of the weirdest Breaking Bad Easter eggs I ever seen in a fucking Disney movie, but okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
The Breaking Bad reference in Disney
fucking Disney movie, yeah. The fucking yellow suit and the fact that the plants they're working with like look suspiciously blue.
Yep.
Yeah. God damn it.
I need to watch that movie again.
God. One movie I should definitely watch again is Brave, because I saw part of it when our sister was watching it, and it looked interesting, so I definitely have to give that a watch.
You never seen it?
I never seen it, no. Not the whole thing, no. I get the gist of the plot.
It's really quite good. It's like really impressive. It's heartfelt. It's very cool. Yeah. I don't know how Disney Pixar keeps doing it. They just keep doing great movies.
Well, the only biggest flop they ever did was probably Cars 2, but you can't have them all.
Yeah, you can't. I've heard Cars 3 is good. I've only seen the first Cars, and I feel like I only need to see the first Cars.
Well, yeah.
Monsters University was pretty cool. Prequel or sequel movies. What else do they have? Did you ever watch? I don't remember Lilo and Stitch 2. I remember like that vaguely from childhood.
Yeah, same. Honestly, I should probably give that a rewatch. I did like the original one. I did saw it like a little while back. I think like about a month and a half ago, and honestly, it still holds up. Like it's still really good.
The first one's like perfect, dude.
Even though Stitch is like a little shit for most of the movie, but yeah,
it's timeless, man. We love him. Because he learns what Ohana means, and he loves Lilo at the end, and like wants to protect her and shit. Exactly. Anyway, so but I don't remember the second one. I have to rewatch that one. Maybe I don't have to. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they introduced more experiments, as far as I know. Yeah, I think that's all they do.
I've certainly never seen The Little Mermaid 2, and I don't really think one needs to. The original one's perfect.
I doubt there's any way you can actually further the plot, like, in a sequel like that. I don't know.
She wouldn't be the Little Mermaid anymore because she gave up her fishtail to be with Eric.
Exactly. It'd be like, what? The title would make no sense.
Her real human parts and like do the thing. And Ursula's like also dead. She died in the first one.
Yeah. So you gotta have like a new villain. Like,
I don't know, man. That's yeah.
And that's also the hardest part too, because like if you have such a great villain in like the first movie, like if they get killed off in the end, like how are you gonna top that? Like,
right, exactly. I mean that's a challenge. So
I mean, the same thing happened with like The Dark Knight. Like the Joker was like the best interpretation of the Joker we've ever seen in cinema, and like he's not showing up for the sequel, obviously, because Heath Ledger passed away. Rest in peace. But how the fuck are you gonna top that? Like, don't get me wrong, Tom Hardy did the best he can with Bane, and he did a fantastic fucking job. But like, it's nowhere near the same perfect level as Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah, that was it's a great performance, man. It was wild. He got lost in it, and he did a great job. I don't like how the news media painted his death, because I mean, like, he did die of like just mixing drugs. He had alcohol and benzos that like really fucks up your system because it's the same drug, pretty much, and it has the same effect. And so it's like,
But you're right. They perpetuated it first as like, oh, he got lost in the role and he became like the Joker and he fucking died. And I'm just like,
and he killed himself. It's like,
why the fuck would you perpetuate that like myth? That's so fucked up.
It's like just actors are just playing pretend, man. It's like it's not that. Like Christian Bale doesn't feel like Batman every time he's like hanging out. Like fucking people can be method actors and shit, but Leo goes home and like fucks people who are under the age of 25. So it's like, bro.
Exactly, like
you fuck 18 to 24-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. God, now looking back on that movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if they switched fucking roles with Leo as Cliff Booth instead, that would actually be oddly fucking fitting.
It would be, man. He probably does play that type of character. He does be that type of person in real life, probably.
Probably, yeah. God. No, that's a great fucking movie, though. Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it, man. It's a good movie. It's a long one, though. It's like over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's close to 3 hours actually. Yeah.
Oh, really? Jesus. I
I know
mean,
it's a lot of
great movie,
movie.
but you
Yeah.
gotta like really sit down and like check that shit out. I wonder how long Killers of the Flower Moon's gonna be. I'm really excited for that one.
Same,
That one's
honestly.
gonna be
I keep
sick.
seeing trailers and I'm just like, fuck, I need to see this movie. God damn it.
Give me. I don't want to see any more trailers because like I just want to go in and view everything for the first time perfectly. And the first trailer is good because it doesn't give too much, but it gives these great shots and this great like musical score build up. It's like amazing. So yeah,
Yeah, no, 100%.
and
100%.
I think it's gonna be sick. Let me see what other movies are coming out, man. I've not been in the movies for a while, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, no, I use the Regal app because that's what I have in my
You got
town.
that membership, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I rack up points when I see movies and buy snacks and shit. Fucking Paw
Sick.
Patrol, the mighty movie.
Yeah, the Mighty Pups, dude.
Yeah. No, I'm not using my free ticket on that. I might use my free ticket on Saw X, but that's just because I don't want to
I've heard
support.
good things about Saw X. I want to see that Dumb Money movie, dude. Oh, the creator.
Dude, the creator would be fucking spectacular. I've heard great things about that one.
What else about? Oh, they're doing a showing of X.
Of wait.
On October 11th.
Oh, the Ty West film, right? The one with Mia Goth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just saw that again recently.
That movie was sick the first time, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sex. Even the old people have sex. Good
Yeah,
for them, dude. Old people should be having sex. Well, they
100%.
should be having protected sex because apparently I had heard recently that that retirement homes have the highest STD rates.
Oh, well, that's Jesus fucking Christ.
So it's like Gam's getting rammed, and like she's not using protection, dude. She's getting the herpes from some fucking guy, dude.
I
From
mean,
Bert down the hall, man. Yeah, it's like it's not it's not okay, man. I hope so. Old people don't
yeah,
listen, man. They don't know contraceptives because they grew up in a generation where you had to like practice abstinence was like your birth control.
yeah. Which that's even more fucked up. Like honestly, like nah. People need to know this shit happens, and we need to stop it. That's what we gotta
People
do.
need to be fucked.
Gotta give them that fucking penicillin before they, go to fucking town on each
Before they
other.
touch their pee-pees together. You gotta, yeah. The Lion King is doing the showing in theaters. Oh god, for how long?
Wait, which one? The original or the fucking remake?
The original, dude.
Oh, good. Thank God.
That'd be kind of sick. I
That
think
is.
the last movie I saw was um oh, it was Strays. That was the last movie I went to go see. Oh, I did see a movie this month or last month. Okay, so at least I used that. That's good. So I saw Strays, which is funny. I think I've talked about it before.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, we don't go out to the movies anymore. We just like hang out elsewhere or hang out at home.
I feel that.
Which like yeah, that's fine. It's honestly yeah, I've been just really tired these days. Work's got me bugging.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. It's cheaper that way because you go out to the movies, even if you get the free ticket, you like, kind of need to buy snacks. I don't buy booze from them anymore because one, they don't like ever have their bar open, and two, like the booze are expensive. So I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's just cheaper to stream at home, and then just like buy your own booze.
and make your own popcorn. I have like hella bags of popcorn here, so we can like I can put on a movie, microwave a bag, pour myself a drink, or get myself a beer. It's perfect.
Hell yeah.
It is cheaper, but there is like an art to it, man. I love movie theaters. Movie theaters are like my comfort place. I love getting to be in a dark room. Everyone's just quiet for the most part. People, especially these days. I think people post COVID don't know how to be in a movie theater anymore because they don't shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No, 100%.
You're not supposed to be having side conversations. You can like giggle at the stuff that you're supposed to giggle at. What the fuck? It's movie theater etiquette, but people don't have that anymore, and that's maybe one reason I don't like going as often. But no, it's fun. I love having the silver screen up. I love having the popcorn in my hand and munching on that during the movie, and like maybe a soda or something. It's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a vibe. It's like a religious experience, like if anything.
It feels that way, dude. It feels that way.
Yeah.
Um,
There's definitely a bunch of movies on my. Oh, what's that?
I was gonna say I completely forgot that you got that new cut.
I did,
That Peaky
yeah,
Blinders cut.
yeah. I should keep
And
it
good
like.
still under the hat.
I know. I should still keep it trimmed though. You know, keep it fresh as fuck, boy.
You have to go like every 3 months to make sure you touch that up. But yeah,
Exactly, yeah. I'll probably just go again, like shortly before the flight to England, so that way, like it's nice and fresh.
and you look like a real English boy,
It's real.
walking around Peaky Blinder.
Exactly, a proper Peaky Blinder. My God, I also should practice like styling with like pomade. Is that what they call it? Like the shit you put in your hair.
I think so. Yeah, it's pomade. Yeah, I don't put stuff in my hair besides shampoo and conditioner, and I just brush it now and again.
Oh no, I gotta use pomade because if I want to like shower regularly and have like nice hairstyle, I have to put something in the hair. Otherwise, I just don't shower and I create my own hair gel from grease.
Gross. What were we gonna say before I cut you off?
No, I was gonna say that I have like a bunch of movies on my list that I should watch at some point, including Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, which I do want to see again because I saw that in theaters and it was quite spectacular.
It looked really cool. I think my girlfriend's parents were watching that.
Did they like it?
Yeah. I think they did. Yeah, they said it was
Nice.
dope.
And then what's another one on my list? No, I might just rewatch some old like movies again and whatnot, stuff I haven't seen in a while, like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then The World's End, the fucking.
Oh yeah, the Cornetto trilogy. Yeah,
Exactly.
I need to rewatch. I'd be down to watch The World's End. I've only seen that movie like once or twice, and maybe just the once because I saw it in theaters, and no, I saw it on DVD again. It was fine. It was fun. It's good as the usual Edgar Wright stuff. It's not as good as the other ones, but I need to check it out again, get another view. It gets sad all of a sudden out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the part I remember. I like didn't expect that shit. It has a cutesy ending though. Anyway.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to watch, and especially now that I like go out drinking and stuff, and go out to the bars, and I've tried to do pub crawls before. I get it,
Yeah, you get it.
Well, it's very hard. Like I remember, like my birthday last year, my 25th. I was like, let's do a pub crawl for the local bars around here. I was like, I'm curious, and like I was really glad about the people who showed up. It was really nice, and so. But we only went to like 2 bars because what happened was like we went to the first bar and I think we had like when we were here we were pre-gaming. I was having a couple shots I think, and then we went to go get some beers or we had beer and pizza and then we went to go get beers at the bar. I think I had like 2 at that bar and then we went next door to the other bar and we stuck there because we like got caught playing beer pong and stuff and then I just chugged a bunch of beers there. Yeah, that was a good night, man. That was cool. But yeah, so pub crawls are hard. So it's just like you have to have 1 beer at each place and just kind of hop. And I'm down to do that when we're in the UK. I think that'd be sweet.
Oh, that would be pretty fucking sick, man. That means we have to watch The World's End on our own times, respectively, before the English trip. That way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. God, what else?
Well, the world's been kind of going nuts. Did we talk about? We talked about Feinstein dying because that happened like last Thursday.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
And then I guess a bunch of other shit happened. So like McCarthy got kicked out.
Yeah, Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy got kicked out. So yeah.
Well, he didn't even. Wasn't it hard to get him in the first place? Did they have to do like 3 rounds of votes or something?
I think it was like 15, but yeah.
It was 15 rounds of voting.
Yes, I believe so. I could be wrong. Let me Google this though.
I kind of believe it though. That's kind of like state of things is like there's literally no other option, and it takes this many times. I think someone just like was defeated and just finally went, yeah, if I remember. That's kind of like
yeah. McCarthy ultimately secured the gavel after 15 rounds of voting for 4 days straight.
Wow! I really underestimated. That's crazy. So it should come as no surprise that they're like, "Hey, fuck you, man." And then I guess like the new lady who's taking over Feinstein's position, got sworn in this last Monday, I think.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool because she's like lesbian and stuff. So she's got like a wife and shit, which is like really cool. And she's also African American, so there's like some representation.
Hell yeah!
It's like really cool. So good for. And then like on the
how old is this one? I'm curious now because it's already like looking good for me.
I think she's much younger. Let me look her up, man. I want to make sure I get like her info right. She's people are the way they were reporting on it. They're already talking about like, is she gonna run next year? It's like, bro, she just started. This is day one of her starting. Like, let her be.
She just fucking started, and granted, black lesbian definitely gets my fucking vote, but again, I should also see her in action, see what she.
It's LaFonza Butler is her name, and she
Afonso Butler.
yeah, and
That's an interesting name.
let's see, how old is she? She's only 44, so that's good.
Hey.
Drastically brings down the average age of the U.S. Senate by a fucking mile. She also like began her career as a union organizer, so that's like kind of a good thing. So like
Shit.
we kind of stand LaFonza.
Fuck yeah, bro.
You go, bro. But so anyway,
Fuck yeah, we got her at least for another 49 years.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hope, yeah. Yeah. So did you see that video clip of like Biden going around where like there was a reporter who asked like, what do you think about like the McCarthy situation or whatever, and he's like, he's like giggling and he's like, that's above my pay grade, and then just walks out. It's like, that's kind of like, it's kind of baller, but it's also kind of like, I don't know if I want my president to keep doing that shit, because I can only imagine what the reaction would be if like, I'm sure Donald has done that shit before, so it's like, we got to be a little fair. It's like that's like. It's kind of just not answering the question.
Well, the only difference is, like, with that, like, Republicans are going to find a way to make him look like a fucking villain, a demonstrable villain, for whatever fucking reason. Meanwhile, their boy Trump would do the same exact thing, and arguably way worse.
Well, actually, Trump's had a hard week. He had a hard week last week, because he apparently... so he was, like... He's got, like, the trials going on for his, like, 96 indictments or whatever the fuck, right? Whatever the charges. He's got separate court cases for each one, and so like,
yeah, he's flying all the way to and from like different areas on the East Coast. Man, it's fucking wild. I love it.
Yeah, it's like we love to see him have to do that and struggle. So anyway, so like, but he's in court, right? And so he's in the courthouse, not necessarily in the court. He's outside the court, in the courthouse, inside the echoey chambers.
Yeah.
And he's like talking shit about the judge. He's like, this judge is unfair, blah blah blah. This jury is BS. They're all against me. And then, like, he goes in and he realizes there is no jury because his dumbass lawyer checked the box that said judge only by the judge, not by his peers. And so the judge was sitting right there behind his fucking stand with his gavel and stuff, and was like, "What are you gonna do, bro?" It's like he said all that shit out in the hallway, and then like his lawyer, I guess, like he only hired her because he said on national television he thought he was hot, he thought she was hot. Which is like not a good reason to hire a lawyer. Like, if they're hot doesn't mean they're smart, and if they're smart doesn't mean they're hot. You know what I mean? Like, not really to equate. They can correlate. They don't equate. But then like also his lawyer, like, she doesn't bring in like a fancy regular laptop. She brings in like a Twitch streaming gamer laptop.
Yeah, I saw that with the RGB lighting, right?
Oh my god, dude! I can't believe. I can't take this seriously, dude. This is so fucking funny.
No, we're like this close. We're this close to having the first ever gamer president, man. Like, it just...
That's so funny, dude. I mean, like, he's so insane for doing all of this, and he does it unabashedly. And, like...
He just doesn't care, which is insane to me. Like, it's just, he really doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't. He got the art of not giving a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, he's just.
Yeah.
He's. It's very impressive. I'm amazed. I'm shocked and amazed, honestly.
Yeah, like literally everyone else involved in this is trying to take this as seriously as fucking possible. Like, obviously the ones trying to fucking convict him and shit.
It's a goddamn courtroom. It's a hall of justice type of thing, man. Take it seriously, dude. Like, Jesus Christ.
Everyone else is taking it super seriously, and he's just like, he's acting like a fucking clown. And he doesn't care. Like, it's phenomenal. Like, it's incredible. Like, in the way that it's like pretty damn funny, but also at the same time, I don't know what that has to say about the future of politics because of that. Like that.
Well, I think everything's kind of just messy, and I've probably said this before on this podcast. It's like we really are living in the society of the spectacle. Where, like, Donald Trump is the spectacle, and, like, he's really just entertaining and fun to watch. But he's also, like, really dangerous because he, like, influences a lot of bad ideology and other shit. So it's really just it's a weird tug of war, and we live in this era of like tabloid realism, where like we don't want to be informed, we want to be entertained, and so like that's why like entertaining stories, that's why things that go viral make like make like the front pages or headlines or whatever, and like it's just kind of like we're the forefront, and like there's like earthquake earthquakes in places. There's national news, international news going on, and like important shit going on.
Yeah.
And we just focus on mundane shit, and like people meme the fuck out of like, I knew that today was or Tuesday was gonna have like the emergency test system, whatever. But that's because I only caught an NPR article like the day before, and so I was like, okay, it's gonna happen like at this time, our time. And so, yeah, people just need to be a little more informed and not necessarily need to be so focused on being entertained. Because I'm sure this Trump shit has probably got like a lot of media attention and like a lot of outlets talking about exclusively that, and especially with the run up to the 2024 election where he's like gonna try to rerun, but we'll see how that works out. I don't know. I'm really concerned about. It's really funny to watch the process, but I'm really concerned to see the aftermath, like if/when he gets found guilty and stuff of a bunch of these charges and has to like be sentenced to time and stuff, and like he's doing time, and like his supporters are like all bad shit, and like they were willing to like invade the Capitol on just his suggestion of like whatever. I don't know. It's like it's all very complicated. I don't really know what to say about it. It's I worry about this country sometimes, man. I worry about it. A lot of civil unrest going on. A lot of shit going on.
A lot of crazy bullshit. I know. It's fucking phenomenal, man.
Yeah, it's insane. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know what to think of it.
I don't know. I mean, the memes have been great. Obviously, especially the Kevin James meme.
The Kevin James meme that came out recently, the fucking King's a Queen, him posing in the kitchen shit.
Yeah, and then, like other photos from like that show, and people have been like using different versions where it's like, oh god, I think there's one that I have. It's like, I
like the one of him coming out the manhole. I think that's funny.
Oh yeah, me getting ready to go out for girls' night.
Yeah, him trying to be sexy and shit. I don't know. It's just it's so funny to me.
It's so fucking great.
Yeah.
God. Or me saying, "But hey, things happen," after telling the most traumatic events of my life, and it's just him sitting on like a fire escape outside of an apartment complex, just chilling.
It's wild. The world is burning, but we can at least meme it.
Exactly. And then there's the gender bent version they apparently made recently where they just give him fat fucking titties.
That was just like insane. I opened up Twitter and I scrolled just like a little bit, but they call him fucking X. I'm not calling it fucking X. Fuck you, Elon, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, no, if he's gonna dead name his daughter, we're gonna dead name your fucking website.
His website. Motherfucker.
Exactly. That's how we get back at Elon. We fucking dead name his website.
Motherfuck your permission. But like I opened Twitter, I scrolled a little bit, and then like fucking Kevin James' titties pops up, and I was like, what the fuck?
It didn't take long. It really didn't take long.
It took like a couple days. It like really didn't. Oh my god.
I know, the evolution, man. Jesus.
It was kind of nuts, dude.
Oh god. Funny enough, I've never actually seen that show, Kings of Queens.
I've seen like I think one half of an episode. It's like not bad. It's fun.
Yeah.
I think Kevin James has a fun time with it. So
I think so. Like I think the one show I watched on cable TV more than anything was probably like a bunch of crime shows like Criminal Minds and like NCIS, Bones. But as far as like comedy shows, I think it was like 2.5 Men for sure.
2.5 Men was like goated like the first like 6 seasons.
100%. 100%.
And then it like went downhill. I think it was like
I
think it started a little bit after Chelsea and Charlie broke up. I really liked that character growth where he was like with her involved as like one person and he has to like reconcile with his past and stuff.
Yeah.
But then like they had to kick Charlie Sheen off because he was going nuts and like doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always been nuts. He's Charlie Sheen, man. He's having a good time.
Well, it's the fact that his character in the show is just pretty much like a more cranked up version of like him, really. So like Yeah, the partying, the sleeping around, the drinking,
Yeah, the obvious substance abuse issues. His
Yeah.
character drinks a lot in that show. It's like it's insane. Um,
Yeah. But hey, he got kicked
tried.
off that show, and then, John Cryer, who played Alan, he got to play Lex Luthor in Supergirl. So, I mean, who's winning now?
You serious?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got that. No, I only watched like the first season of Supergirl and like this first half of season 2. So I never got that far. That's cool, man.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I heard he did pretty good, so I never got that far either. I just heard about it later, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta see this. And then, like, I look him up, and I'm like, oh, that's actually a pretty good fit. I can actually see him as Lex Luthor.
in the 1980s film Pretty in Pink with Molly Ringwald, he plays this young high schooler named Ducky, who like has mad drip, by the way.
Holy
And it's
shit.
like kind of like it's the friend pining after Molly Ringwald, but there's these other dudes who are like way hotter and like way more interesting. Well, not more interesting, they're just hotter. And like John Cryer is like more interesting, but he's like annoying and like not as hot. And so it's like, but he's got like drip, bro. He's like crazy. That movie's like fucking awesome. I watched that. Oh, I was here with some boys after like a night. We were doing something, I think. No, maybe we just met up. I think it was we were doing something beforehand. We came back here and just like put the movie on, and we were like, "Fuck it." It was sick. Anyway, so yeah. On that note, this has been the 9 to 5 boys. Thank you so much for joining us. This shift. We will see you all next time.
Indeed. 9 to 5 boys out. Klitschink.